Very good morning, my dear students. This is Professor N. Sathya Krishna Sundar, guest lecturer, PG Department of English, Cardamom Planters Association College, Bodinayakanur. In today, we are going to take it up for literary criticism 1. So let me ask a few questions about you that what is called criticism? Why it is so it's being called criticism? What is the significance of criticism? Either which is telling a story or which is going to tell a text of critic. So let me start with the today's sessions with as a literature, it's defined as poetry, fiction, drama, prose, non-fiction. It's a kind of a genre. See, so you all know that literature it's a like a sea ocean, right? So it has some units of the poetry, the fictions, the prose, non-fiction, theories, etc. Stories, short stories, etc. So they enjoy the two ways criticism it's habitual. The man enjoys it and methodically as a trained man does. So if a person who is going to enjoy the pure literature text, literary text, or how to responding the text, how to react the text is different, how to responding the text which is also is different. So its impression of its worth is vague, even confused, because which is one is poetry of any of a poetry, any of a fiction, any of a drama, or which is called the any of a text. What is the differences of text by their own writer, or what is the differences of text by this own reader? So how to differentiate is first. So according to the criticism, so it's enjoying it's how to values of these both the text. Yes. So it is the impression of its worth is vague, even confused. In the other, it is fully accounted it. So it is the later mode of enjoying is that is called the criticism. So criticism is the one of the movement, one of not a movement, but criticism is one of the genre, one of the ideal text idea. Yes. So who is called a critic? Who is called a critic? A critic is an ideal reader. A reader, if a person who read a text, so he is been called as an ideal reader. A critic is like a traveled much in the realms of gold. He brings to bear trained judgment whatever he reads, because the reader who has judgment of the text, whether he or she interpretation of the text, whether he or she enjoyed the text. So like the reader, according to him or according to her, no work of arts is good or bad. See, enjoyable or unenjoyable, whether it is called their own perception, their own identity, their own ideas. It's a text of meaningful or meaningless unless which is called subjected of through the examinations etc. point of view. So therefore the criticism it's a born of questioning, the born of idea which is created by the own reader, the interpretation of the text, whether it is a good text, whether it is a bad text, equally more important what is called the text. So the critic is an ideal reader. So here this slide we are slightly interchangeable of what is called the beginning of literary criticism, what is called the meaning of criticism, which is started from the Greek time. So the functionally the Europe of the art of criticisms began in ancient Greece. So ancient Greece, they were starting in the first European literature or European context, Western ideas which is they were started in the first portions of the criticism. So, according to the Greece, in the 5th century of BC, it seems to have more positive attention than ever before. So, according to the 5th century, they have slightly starting of criticism. So, criticism equally considered as religion, philosophy, morality, politics, art, literature. Achilles, Sophocles, Euryptus, Socrates, Aristophanes all lived in the same ages. Who are the persons? Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euryptus, Socrates, Aristophanes all lived in the same ages. Of these, the first to apply his mind of critical considerations of literature was Aristophanes, because Aristophanes is the first critic who was starting the comedies called the Frogs. In his comedy, The Frogs, while discussing the relative merits of Achilles and Euryptus. So, the Aristophanes is the first the first critic on his comedy, The Frogs, while discussing the relative merits of Achilles and Euripides. Now, the Greek masters, the two masters. So now we are going to look just two masters in criticism. First, starting with Plato. Plato lived in the ancient Greece between 427 and 347 BCE. He was a well-renowned critic in the first of Greek literature of Greek time, Western European time. At the time of Athens was democracy and center of culture and learning. At the time of Athens, the Athens which is in Greek, the democracy of concrete of culture and learning. The Greek city states were also frequently at war, which is other, and Athens was defeated. The Greek city was defeated, the Athens, in the Peloponnesian War in 404 BCE. So he was not a proposed critic of literature, and his critical observations not embedded in single work, because Plato, he has a lot of significant work about his writing. So it's not proposed of literature, literary critic of the single of embedded in a single work. Plato was deeply influenced by the philosophy of his teacher, because Plato was disciple of Socrates. The Socrates who was known for his critical questioning of commonly held beliefs and values. Plato's own works, including dialogues such as Republic, one of the most famous work written by Plato, which is called Republic. It is called another one is called Symposium. Both texts are explore the questions of ethics, politics, and nature of reality. Plato's Republic is one of the most influential works of philosophy and political theory in history. Republic, one of the most famous work written by Plato, which is talking about the philosophy and politics theory in history. Plato's Republic is the most importance of education in shaping the moral character of individuals and society a whole, because the Republic is the pioneering work of Plato. Another important theme of the book is the idea of philosopher king. Plato believes its ideal ruler is one who possesses both intellectual and moral virtues. Okay, so the critic, how the critic is designated, because the critic, which is the ruler, is the one who possesses both intellectual mind and the moral virtues. So according to the Plato words, then now let us discuss with another person, the name called Aristotle. Aristotle is a Greek philosopher. Aristotle is a Greek philosopher who lived from the 1384 to 1323 BC. He was a student of Plato and later became the tutor of Alexander the Great. Aristotle is considered one of the most important figures in Western philosophy, and his ideas and writings have had a profound impact on many fields of study, including ethics, politics, metaphysics, biology, and logic. Aristotle's famous works is called Poetics. Aristotle Poetics is one of the most important works of literary criticism in Western history. Poetics described a detailed analysis of Greek tragedy, the play. The every drama has a, there is a distinguish between the tragedy. It's a types of tragedy, the poetry, Greek tragedy, and epic poetry, as well as the framework of understanding the principles of literary compositions and the role of literature in society. Aristotle's poetics define as one imitation of serious and complete actions that has a certain magnitude. Because um, this points which is very crucial, because Aristotle poetics is defined as a imitations, because imitations of the work, imitation of art, imitation of the serious complete action that has certain magnitude, which is the text, which is the separate of any of a drama, any of a poetry. The poetry, he has divided the poetry is a epic poetry, the poetry of normal, the epic poetry, language embellished with each kind of artist ornament and the form of action, narrative not of narrative. So Aristotle poetics is the talking about what is the types of drama and what is the type of the poetry. But Plato's work is kind of uh, uh, Plato's Plato's work, the Republic, which is called how the politics of philosophy, which is narrated. Yes. So this is a small presentation about literary criticism, the Greek masters, Plato and Aristotle. And therefore, before we have started with the session with the origin of the criticism, which is born in Greek, ancient Greek. So the ancient Greek, therefore starting with the two eminent critics, Plato and Aristotle. I hope you enjoyed the sessions. Yes, we'll see later. Thank you. Goodbye.